Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Jay from Coding with Jaybird, where I upload weekly tutorials to help build your confidence in coding. This is part 8 of my series, JavaScript Tutorial for Beginners, and we'll be talking about JavaScript arrays. Let's start coding. Here I have a JS arrays folder that I've created. Let's open that in VS Code. Here you can see an arrays.html file in VS Code, and it's linked to the main.js in the JS folder and some simple styling in the style.css file. Now I'm just using Live Server to run this in the Chrome browser on the right hand side. Let's go ahead and implement some JavaScript logic. Arrays are a list like objects. An array is a special variable that can hold more than one value inside of it. Now arrays allow us to create a list and store it in one variable. The list can be made up of any data type, and the data types can be mixed within each array. However, this isn't common and can cause some problems when trying to access the value stored inside of the array. You won't know for certain which type of value you're going to get at any given time. So it's usually a good idea to have one consistent data type stored within the array. Now, JavaScript arrays are like objects, but they're different than objects in that they use a numbered index, whereas JavaScript objects use named indexes. Let's start by creating an array. Now there are a few methods that we can use to create an array. Let's start by creating an empty array called myHobbies. So const myHobbies equals, and I'll use the new array constructor to build this array. Now, if I have a look at this in the console log my hobbies, I'll see I have this square bracket notation. And if I expand this, it tells me it's type array and has a length of 0. So I've actually created an array, but it's an empty array at this point. And arrays are displayed in the browser using square bracket notation. Let's create another array. We'll make it empty once again, and we'll use a different method to create it this time. So we'll say const my books equals square brackets. And once again, if we have a look at this in the console log my books, we'll see that we've created another empty array with a length of 0 and a type array. We can create an array and populate it with some items at the same time. So let's declare a new array and we'll call it furniture. Let furniture equal, and using square brackets, I'm going to put in different elements or list items in a comma separated list. Now for this example, I'm just going to create string data types as my elements in the array. So let's start by putting in some items. Dining table, comma, another string value chair, comma, another string value couch, comma, let's say, bed, comma, and let's put one more called bench. Okay, so this has 5 list items. So 5 furniture list items. Now we can have a look at this in the console. And we see a slightly different syntax this time. We still see the square brackets, and we see our 5 string items, and they look like strings with a single quote wrapped around them, but then we also see this 5 in round brackets. Now if we expand this arrow, we can see this length of 5, so we have an array with 5 items, and that's what this 5 in the brackets tells us, that there are 5 items in this array. And if you look to the left here, they're itemized or indexed with 0 as the first key. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that tells us the first list item is of index value 0. Now let's say I wanted to access that first index item. So how do you access an array item? We can create a new variable called first item. So let first item equal furniture, which is a variable name that's storing the array inside of it for us. Now we can use square bracket notation followed immediately after this word furniture, And inside the square bracket, we pass in the index value of the item that we'd like to access. So if we want to access the first item of dining table, I can just simply type in 0. So let's have a look at this in the console. And here you can see I've displayed dining table from line 24 in our main.js. Now let's say we want to get the last item in this array. So I'll create a new variable called last item. Item. And I'm going to use furniture once again. And now for the last item, I'll use square brackets, and this array has 5 items. So let's put in 5. And let's have a look at what this looks like in the console. It says undefined. Now, why is that? Tim, my handy debugging duck is telling me something doesn't look right. So what's really going on here? Why is last item undefined when we've defined the 5 items? Well, if you expand this arrow down here and have a look at the index, because the index is starting with 0, even though there are 5 items in this list, the last item doesn't have an index value of 5, but rather 4. So it's always the length of the array, which is 5, minus 1, and that will be the last item in our array. So one way to get the last item would be to put in furniture, square brackets, and 4 inside the square brackets. However, there's another way to do it where we're always accurate, no matter how large the array may be. And that's by using something called the length method. So when you use the length method, you can apply it to any array variable and you can get the length of that array. So let's say we want something called list length. So let some variable list length equal furniture. Now using our dot notation, we'll apply a method of length onto this. Now if I console log this length, list length, what do we get? We see the length is a value 5. So now I can use this list length to get the last indexed item. So now instead of the last item equaling furniture square brackets 5, we'll say last item equals furniture square brackets. And now we can either write furniture dot length or we can just use list length. So I'll say list length minus 1. So I'm basically saying 5 minus 1. So give me the furniture array's 4th indexed item. Now, if I were to look at this in the console, what do I see? As expected, we get bench, which is the last list item in our furniture array. Now, in more advanced lessons, I'll be covering loops. Loops allow us to loop or iterate over each array list item. Now, in small lists, it's not so hard to access each item based on its index number. However, as your code becomes more complex and you're working with larger arrays, there are better ways to access each item in the array. All right, let's also learn how to add an item to our array, because now that we've created this array of 5 items, maybe we want to add more furniture items to this list. So a simple method that helps add items to an array is called the push method. Now in this example, we'll create an array with elements that are of a different data type. So we created ones with string in the first example. Let's make some number data types this time. So let my fav num equal, again using square brackets, I'm making an array, and I'm going to add a few numbers in here. So 2, lucky number 7, let's say 25, and we'll stop at that for now. Now let's say I want to pass in the number 10 after these 3 numbers in this array. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll use the name of the array, so my fav num, and using dot notation, we'll add the push method or apply the push method to my fav num, and in the round brackets, we'll pass in the value that we want to push onto this array or add at the end of the array, which is 10. So now if I were to log this to the console, my fav num, we'd see we have 4 items in the array, 2, 7, 27, and 10, whereas initially we only had 2, 7, and 25. So we're able to effectively push or add one more item to the end of the array. You can even add an item to the array using the index value. So this way, if I wanted to add an item, let's say in the 5th position, I could do that by simply typing the name of the array, which is my favnum. Using square bracket notation, I would pick the index where I want to add this item. So let's say position 5, and I want to store the value 100 in this. Now this looks like it's great and it's an easy solution. However, this is a bit error prone because sometimes you can create holes in the array. So let's have a look at this. If I were to log this to the console, my favnum, we'd see something weird is going on. We have 6 items in the array, so a length of 6, but the items go from 2, 7, 25, 10, and then if you look, there's an empty one. Here you can see empty. Index value of 4 doesn't exist. So this is error prone because if you're iterating through an array or go through this list of items, you won't notice perhaps that you're missing one item. So it's not the best way to do it. It's ideal to push something to the end of array, or there's some other methods which we'll learn in future tutorials. Now, something else that we should look at is what's the data type of an array? So let's log that to the console. So console log type of my favnum. Now we would expect this to look like an array, but if I save this, you'll see it doesn't. It in fact comes up as an object. This is a known data type in JavaScript. Arrays are a type of object. The only difference is that arrays are numbered index objects, whereas a regular object is a named index object. That's it for JavaScript arrays, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue to make more amazing videos for you in the weeks to come. Until next week, don't forget, keep on coding.